I'm going to move on to the main event of this evening. It was Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight title, if you will. They came out with bagpipes for Drew McIntyre in his hometown of Scotland, his home country. So obviously he got a hero's welcome. This is him showing up with the country's flag. By the way, I watched the pre-show. It did have a good, for that whole 2 hours, the one thing that was good was the history of Drew McIntyre and some indie shows he did in Scotland. So, yeah, that was interesting. I didn't really know it like that. I knew about him going to TNA and kind of making a name for himself there, but I didn't know about the stuff in Scotland. So
yeah.
I thought that was good. That was actually worth my time out of anything from the pre-show. But here he is, soaking it all in. Everyone's thinking this is his night to finally win the World Heavyweight title and go out on top, right? As the show goes off the air. And he's ready to go. He's like looking like a freaking monster, like a superhero. And here comes Damian Priest with the World Heavyweight title. Also looking pretty good. They face off in the ring. And the referee, there's the World Heavyweight title in all its prestige and glory. So here goes the match. Let's go through some of it. Here's a collar and elbow tie-up, from which I think Drew McIntyre wins this test of strength contest early in the match. But I'm not really going to show most of it. I skipped about 13 minutes. So here's where Drew McIntyre claymores Damian Priest into the guardrail. Here's a South of Heaven by Damian Priest, which leads to a kick out from Drew McIntyre. Here's a Hurricane Rana from Damian, which leads to a Claymore from Damian, and then from Drew McIntyre. And then this is where it kind of looked like Drew could win right there, and Damian did kick out. He had no help, by the way, from Judgment Day. We didn't really cover it, but on Raw, he lost the ability to have any of Judgment Day at ringside when Finn Balor lost to Drew McIntyre. So Damian's out there by himself. Let's see what he's got. So Drew McIntyre shocked. But here's, I think, the end of the match. Here's the booking for the end of the match. Okay. So they were going to squish the referee in the corner, and he jumps out of the ring. And then the ref tries to get back in the ring, and he's on the fucking apron, and he gets thrown off the apron. So the ref is gone. Now he looks fucked up. So they fight in the ring. They continue fighting a little more, but a little bit of an exchange leads to a Claymore from Drew McIntyre. So here's McIntyre running the ropes. Claymore, and he's got the 3 count. So he's calling for a rep. So he's there pinning Damian, and they're going to pan to the ring walk entrance. So a big, long, look at get a load of this camera angle, Vlad. Like, we can't see who this is. They're like, oh, someone's running to the ring. It's like, you see like a shadow of someone running to the ring. We don't know who it is. And then we get this camera angle of a referee sliding into the ring. We see only him from behind. They did this so perfectly.
They did.
The crowd can see who it is, though, because they can see the other side. And whoever this referee is counts to 2 and just stops. And Drew McIntyre looks at him, and he's like, what the fuck? And then we see from the other side, the camera shows that it's CM Punk. And he's smiling at Drew McIntyre. It's just, dude, this is as asshole as it gets. He's just blatantly showing him 2 fingers. It was a 2 count. And he's smiling in his face. He didn't finish why is he even there as a referee? What the fuck is this? Anyways, the crowd is going ballistic.
Well, he's not obviously there as a referee. Anyways.
He's not there as a referee. He's wearing a referee shirt.
Yeah, but he's not actually. I mean, I don't think it would have counted if he actually was able to.
All right. Well, hold on.
Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
So Drew McIntyre obviously is going to try to strangle him, and then CM Punk kicks him in the nuts, low blow, pie faces him on the floor, and hops out of the ring. And the whole crowd is giving CM Punk the middle finger, specifically one guy who's in the front row right in front of him, giving him the middle finger right to his face, and Punk is just laughing about it. He doesn't care. And there is Damian Priest with one more south of heaven, and that's the end of the match as Damian Priest gets the 3 count. And we'll see some of the audience just miserable, and there's CM Punk celebrating with a section of CM Punk fans in Scotland. Fuck those guys. Those guys should get beaten up on the way out the stadium or something. So that's the end of the show. That's how it goes off the air. And we were talking about this, guys. We had a whole segment where we were like projecting this match. Like, can they really send CM Punk out there to do this in front of all those Scottish people? Do they have the balls to do this? And they did it. So it happened. It was crazy. It was wild. When I saw this, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I did believe it, but my jaw was still dropped to the floor. But anyways, I'm going to start with reviews. Let's start with Robert. The Frozen Nation. Thumbs up, thumbs down for this whole thing. The whole match and the post-match.
Thumbs up overall. I want to first start by talking about Damian Priest first. So overall, as far as the look, the ring work, and his persona, I have no issue with Damian Priest. The only problem, especially now that he's been a champion, is that he's the leader of a really weak stable, or at least a very badly booked one. So that really compromised, how he's viewed, and at least for me, as a legit champion, and that really sucks, right? And the way this match turned out and the way he ended up winning it didn't really do him any favors, even though he ended up the victor, right? Like it does not make his title reign look any better. That's true. My perspective on him as and his championship reign so far. Now, regarding the match and what ended up happening at the end, I thought the match was pretty cool. It was, to me, I actually thought it was really good. And then what happened at the end with CM Punk's shenanigans, I can't say I'm surprised. Like I did in the back of my mind have that as like a possibility of that happening, so it wasn't too surprising. I wasn't sure if they would, pull the trigger with the idea of an interference from CM Punk, but hey, this is why we watch wrestling, right? To see what happens, right? It can't be too predictable. So, So overall, thumbs up for me. I enjoyed it.
Hey, on your text, you sent me 2 thumbs up. So
yeah.
Are you changing it to 1 thumb up or 2 thumbs up?
I'll keep it 2. I'll keep it 2. I enjoyed the match, and
I got confused. I thought you were changing it to just the thumbs up. Okay, so 2 thumbs up from Robert here. All right, let's go with Vlad. Give us your thoughts on this and your review.
Yeah. This was great. I don't know what else to say. This was really good stuff. The match itself was pretty good, I would say. Crowd was electric, obviously, during this match, for most of it. There was a spot that they did, I don't know if that was intentional or accidental, where Damian Priest's foot got stuck in the rope. I don't know how you do that. I don't intentionally, or if that was bad. I don't really understand, because I've never actually seen that spot, that specific spot before. I just thought that was cool if it was a spot, and if it was some sort of botch, then I guess not so good. But either way, good match. The ending obviously was what people are going to be talking about. The CM Punk getting involved, coming in with a referee's shirt. The camera angles I thought were kind of like, right, to keep people that are watching the show from on the TV, not knowing what the hell who that could be. But obviously you knew obviously you knew it was something, because like why else are they, obviously I knew it was Punk as soon as they showed the back of his head. I'm like, well, this is a no-brainer. But
oh my god, but it's so bad. It's so bad for Drew. That look on Drew's face when he was just looking at it, like, what the fuck? You?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I think it really will take their feud or should take their feud to even a higher level. It's gonna create nuclear heat for their feud, which it should. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next with it. So I think Damian Priest is kind of in a sense, he is an afterthought to this angle, in a sense, but it's not really his fault because the bigger thing is Punk and Drew. That's just the way it is. That's been the angle that people care about in this, even when and it would have already been Punk and McIntyre if it wasn't for both, especially Punk being injured, right? They would have probably already had a match by now. But so I think that's unfortunate for Damian, but it's not the end of the world. Like, I don't think it absolutely kills him. I think he still has an opportunity to maybe still be an effective champion. That's to be decided. The thing with McIntyre and Punk is going to be great. I mean, it's been good so far. It's just going to go to a whole new level after this because this is a great, quote-unquote, screw job, you know?
All right, so 2 thumbs up from Vlad for this segment. All right.
2 thumbs up.
Me
yeah,
too.
Sure.
2 thumbs up. When I was watching it, I just, my mouth was hit the floor, man. I mean,
you didn't really. So you.
I know. I expected it, but even when this was one of those things. This was one of those weird things that even when you expect it to happen, it's still gonna be crazy to see, because it's obviously gonna be happening in Scotland, and CM Punk was not afraid to go there and do that and be the bad guy, and the WWE was too. They weren't afraid to send the fans home unhappy for the greater good of the show and the angle. So. Kudos to them. Yeah, this was great. And I'm sorry for the fans in Scotland that had their one show a year and they didn't get to see Drew McIntyre holding the title, but maybe next year. We'll see.
maybe not. We don't know.
Maybe not. Sometimes in wrestling, things just pass, their moments pass, but I think they do got a moment for Drew McIntyre somewhere down the line. This is still fucking great though. Even though he's not becoming champion, it's such a good storyline. It's so good. This is a 5-star angle.
I mean, I agree. It might be the best. It might be the best thing going that WWE has. This whole Punk and McIntyre thing. I mean, the feud has been great, and it can only be better after something like this, right? It has to be.
Yeah. Okay. Still a trip seeing CM Punk and WWE to me, I will say. So every time I see him, I'm like, man, I can't believe they got him and AEW lost him. Like, how stupid. But okay. All right. That'll